Hey kiddo. How was school? Do you have any homework?
Good, and I have to do a biography on Sandro Botticelli. From the Renaissance.
What's the Renaissance?
It's the rebirth of Europe when people worked on humanism. They focused on self-accomplishments instead of focusing on the church. Which means they focused on art and their own well-being instead of focusing on the church. That's humanism. It started in urban Italy during the Crusades in the 1300s and ended around the 1600s. Trade route reopened to Eastern Europe.
Oh yeah. Now I remember. Oh, I think I have heard of him. Didn't he paint The Birth of Venus?
Yeah, he painted it in 1485.
Oh really? You seem to know a lot about him. What else do you know?
Well, Sandro Botticelli was born March 1st, 1445, in Florence, Italy. He started his life training as a goldsmith. Later in his life he entered the studio of Filippo Lippi, who taught him painting. At just the age of 15, he opened his own workshop.
Geez. Mark, you seem to know so much about this guy. Tell me more, this is so interesting.
Alright. Sandro was influenced by a famous artist named Andrea del Verrocchio. Sandro created many paintings in his lifetime.
I bet he has. What are some of these paintings' names?
Well, he has painted the famous Birth of Venus, Venus and Mars, Adoration of Magi, Primavera and Fortitude. The Birth of Venus is one of his more famous paintings. It was painted in 1845. It shows the goddess Venus having come out from the sea and going onto the seashore. Next painting is the Venus and Mars. It shows the Roman gods Venus and Mars. Venus watches Mars sleep while two babies play carrying his armor and another baby sleeps under his arm. Another one blows a small conch shell into Mars' ear trying to wake him. The painting was painted in 1483. The Adoration of Magi was another one of his paintings. It was 9 feet by 8 feet and created in 1478 until 1482. The painting shows the scene many members of the Medici family. The Migas kneels in front of the Virgin, described by Vasari as the finest of all that are now extant for its life and vigor.
Fortitude is also a painting made by Sandro Botticelli. Fortitude is the first recorded work by Botticelli. It was created in 1470. The painting measured 66 inches times 34 inches. It was painted for the hall of the Tribunale dell'Arte della Mercanzia, or Merchants' Tribunal in Florence. The painting is often described as inspiring. The lady is feminine, but shows a sense of powerful and steady strength.
Lastly, the fifth painting created by Botticelli is Primavera. It was created in 1482 and was 6:8x10:4. The painting is considered one of the most written about and most controversial paintings in the world. People describe it as a group of mythological figures in a garden. It represents for the lush growth of spring. Did you know there is a difference between Renaissance and medieval art? Now look behind me and look at the two paintings. Can you tell a difference? The medieval paintings are usually more cartoon-like and have no perspective.
Oh really, what do you mean by perspective? And I can definitely tell a difference.
The Renaissance one looks more lifelike. They have emotion and movement. They use techniques like frescoes, which is when they take wet plaster, let it dry a little bit, then they paint over it so they dry together and the paint doesn't chip. There were many other famous Renaissance artists like Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, and Raphael and more.
Well son, that sounds really interesting.
Yes. I can't wait to start my project Sandro Botticelli. I better get started. Did you know that many people sponsor or are patrons of art?
Oh really? No I didn't, but what does it mean when they do such a thing?
Patrons are people who pay for art to be made or done.
Oh really? Wow. Well, you better go home and get cracking on this project.